What I like about Office Evolution, one, what business is it? It's in the flexible office solutions space. So their main competitor would be something like a Regus. Most small businesses don't have a lot of employees, therefore most small businesses don't need high rent fixed locations. Now what Office Evolution's doing is they're reading the trends and they're put together far more flexible, centralized type services for their client base. And what that turns into is just a high recurring revenue business, because most of their clientele actually don't rent offices inside of Office Evolution, they're virtual. Let's use your model as like a franchise broker, for instance. Well, people are going to Google you, right? So isn't it nice that if they Googled your business address, you have a Class A office space show up rather than your residence? Second thing would be centralized services like they're having somebody answer the phone for you, having somebody set appointments for you. They do that out of their corporate office in Denver, not out of these individual locations, which takes a lot of the complexity out of the model for the owner. Third is they have drop-in. So collaborative work environments. So their tenants can drop in when they want. They're 24/7, and then they have open areas where they can collaborate as opposed to fixed private offices. And the last solution would be the fixed private office when businesses become stable, and they need that type of work environment, or that's what's best for that particular small business person. So as the business scales, they have actually real estate solutions and office solutions to fit the needs of that particular business. The locations are typically 5,000 to 7,000 square feet, and they're typically near residential areas because their typical clientele will come and go, and they're about 5 to 8 minutes from where people live. So two types of owners. So one would be an executive who's looking for a scalable business with high degree of recurring revenue, or two would be a serial entrepreneur who's looking for their next growth vehicle, again with the same recurring revenue, sell it once and let it be the gift that keeps on giving. This is a semi-absentee model, and it's being run with the owner working maybe 15 hours a week. So the role of the franchisee is simple. It's about a 15-hour week, and in those 15 hours, what they're doing is they're networking for clientele. So outbound sales, marketing, community-oriented type work, where largely they're looking for virtual clientele, those small businesses that don't really have the those fixed office needs, but would benefit from the services, would benefit from the address, and the level of credibility that an Office Evolution would give that particular business, and do it on a subscription model. And there's also, they're managing one employee. So this business is run with one 40-hour a week executive admin office manager type person. So why do people make investments in Office Evolution? Real simple. So number one, this is a business seems to be tailor-made for people like business. So think about yourself as a franchise consultant. What makes a great franchise consultant? You're just passionate about small business, and you're enamored with a number of different ways that you can make money in the United States. And this is tailor-made for people just like that. Second is the simplicity of it, because those centralized office solutions, they're done by the parent, the franchisor in Denver, and not by the franchisee out in the field. So simple, simple, simple. Run with one full-time employee who's professional, $35,000 to $50,000 a year, office manager, strong CEO, executive admin type. Third, recurring revenue. So the average customer, client, tenant is going to stay with Office Evolution about 4 years. So really good recurring revenue model. Semi-absentee, the average owner is looking at about 15 hours a week on a single location. It's also community involvement. So if you're seeing what are the emotional hooks, it's going to be community involvement in a business for people who love business. But the community involvement, being out in the community, networking with entrepreneurs, learning about small businesses, attending the BNI groups, that's where the owner is going to spend their time, and those seems to be the real hooks and the drivers that people really seem to connect to, that outbound marketing effort. Unit level economics are great. This ramps up extremely quickly. hits break even pretty quickly, and then the margins above break even, there's a good item 19, you'll see are some of the strongest I've seen in franchising. So incredible flow through to the bottom line above break even. It's when you take simple and strong unit level economics, you got scalable. So this is an emerging growth franchisor, good proof of concept, but huge open tracts of land that are available. Franchisee friendly culture. This is a franchisor that gets it from a franchise culture standpoint. They really get a good understanding of who a franchisee really is and what they expect out of the relationship, and they've been able to provide that. And then fairly low front end. You're looking at about a $250,000, maybe $300,000 investment. Obviously through the SBA, 25–30% of that in cash, and the rest can be financed. So you combine all these things, and now you know why Office Evolution is a winner. So we're going to put franchise candidates on a typical franchisee recruitment process, and we're going to pay attention to two things. So deal speed being about 60 to 90 days, but we also want to look at the pacing of the deal and emotional engagement, which is that green line. So the beginning is always kind of getting to know you. We're learning about them, they're learning about the concept, and we're looking for fit. Once we establish fit, we educate them on what the business is and how it works. Then we progress to the FDD, get the deal killers out of the way, move them right into franchisee validation. We're going to be talking to franchisees, running numbers, putting together the financial packages, eventually moving them to discovery day, which is towards the end of the process. And after discovery day, we're going to wind it all down. And we're going to ask for an investment decision again, sweet spot being about 60 to 90 days. Office Evolution really only gets one major objection that you might come across, and that's the 800-pound gorilla in the category, which would be Regus. So there's one gigantic market leader, which is Regus. Now, what's different about Office Evolution, the whole strategy is different. So Regus has a tendency to primarily focus on those private suites, so it's a real landlord model with centralized admin on premise. So they're limited by space. So once those little individual private or semi-private offices are gone, basically they're leased out, and they move on to the next location. Regus also has a tendency to locate in downtown or highly commercial areas. Now, Office Evolution is more towards the lifestyle entrepreneur and small business guy. So they try to locate anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes from their house, easy parking, first floor, easy to get in, not high. Not 17th floor and parking garages and downtown and heavy traffic and rush hour. It's much more geared to that the flexible needs of that lifestyle small businessman and entrepreneur. So again, typically closer to the residences, not closer to the downtown. Easy commutes, easy parking, first floor access, and then also heavy emphasis on the virtual clientele. Again, just to summarize, what makes this a good model? Well, one, it's in your sweet spot as far as your candidates that you see. So great model for serial entrepreneur or empire builder, because it's got that, it's tailor-made for semi-absentee, high recurring revenue component. It's also a passion play for business people who just love business. You've got great unit level economics, simple model, again, creates a high level of scalability. You got big tracts of open land because not all the cherries have been picked yet. So this is one of those models also where you can add value to your business when you show your client. It's not something they would typically find on their own, but it validates well, unit level economics are strong, serves a need in the community, nice passion play, and certainly worthy of consideration for your short list.